إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد.
The author goes on to say what we've been saying so much in the past class, one or two classes. The author says, وَالرَّبُّ هُوَ الْمَعْبُودُ وَالرَّبُّ هُوَ الْمَعْبُودُ. The Lord is the one who is worshipped. The Lord is the one who is worshipped. He mentioned proof after that. He said, وَالدَّلِيلُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ اعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمُ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. In Surah Al-Baqarah. Then Ibn Kathir, he mentions, قال ابن كثير رحمه الله تعالى الخالق لهذه الأشياء هو المستحق للعبادة يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم. So before that, his first statement is الرب هو المعبود. He's saying the Lord is the one who is worshipped. Pay attention to that. The Lord is the one who is worshipped. That statement is not really accurate as it appears. But he didn't really mean it as it appears. He said the Lord is the one who is worshipped. What he really means is that Allah, the Lord, the one, only one who has the right to be worshipped. He is the one who is worshipped rightfully and deservingly. That's what he means. He does not mean, as the statement seems to indicate, that everything which is worshipped is a Lord. Ar-Rabbu huwa al-Ma'bud. The Lord is the one being worshipped. Why you can't say that? Because those gods which are worshipped besides Allah or are taken as lords by those who worship them are not really lords. The Lord, Ar-Rabb, is the creator, the sovereign, the one in control, and the commander of all affairs. What we mean is the Rabb does not mean the one who's worshipped. Rabb does not mean the one worshipped as it may appear in the author's statement. It means he's worthy of it, and he's the only one worthy of it, but not broad like the author mentioned it. And he himself didn't mean that. Why is that detail important to know? Because if you define Lord as the one worshipped, it will end up meaning that everything worshipped other than Allah is a Rabb. And of course that's not true. What the author means, he means that the Rabb is the one worthy of being worshipped and no one else. That's what he means. He doesn't mean Ar-Rabb wal-Ma'bud, that the Lord is the one being worshipped. And how do we know that that's what the author meant, even though the statement seems to seem that it means otherwise? We know that because later on he quotes Ibn Kathir's statement, which clears up the matter when he says, قال ابن كثير الخالق لهذه الأشياء هو المستحق للعبادة. That, which we're going to go over in a second inshallah, that clarifies the statement because Ibn Kathir clearly says the creator of those matters is the one worthy of being worshipped. Next, the author went on to give the proof. He said the proof is, the proof for what? That the Lord is the one who deserves or is worthy of being worshipped. That's what the proof is for. What's the proof? يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ اعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمْ. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ. O mankind, single out your Lord with all your worship. The call, Ya ayyuhan nas, he addresses all people. Nas is all people, all mankind, all the descendants of Adam. And this includes Muslims, Believers and kafir includes all. Ya ayyuhan nas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands all to worship Him alone. Ya ayyuhan nas u'budu rabbakum. All are commanded to worship Him alone, having no partner. So they are not to attribute rivals in their worship with Allah. He makes it clear that He alone deserves to be worshipped, since He is the sole creator, having no partner. Ya ayyuhan nas u'budu. U'budu. Meaning listen to your Lord in iman. Give your iman to a submission to Allah, and follow His commands, and submit and glorify Him in humility and reverence. Ibadah is to worship Allah alone. So if one worships other than Allah, he does not fall in ibadah. That's not ibadah. Because ibadah is two conditions. Ikhlas, sincerity. Mutaba'a is doing it in accordance. Those are the definition of ibadah. Those two conditions. One who gave his worship to other than Allah, fully or in part, does not fall under the term of ibadah. What he does doesn't fall under the term of ibadah, because he did not fulfill one or both of the conditions. But he did not fulfill both of the conditions of the ibadah. Now there's a problem. You're going to read in the books of some of the ulama, you're going to read statements when you read it, that someone worshipped Allah and worshipped other than Allah along with him. They'll use the word worshipped other than Allah. Or like I just said, whoever gives a portion of his ibadah worship to Allah, or I may say, he gave his worship to other than Allah. And I use that statement. How did the ulama refer to this as ibadah? Or why did I refer to as ibadah when I just said it's not considered ibadah if it's done to other than Allah, because the two conditions are not met? The answer to that pertaining to the individual, it's ibadah. He thinks it's ibadah. That's what we mean when we refer to it as ibadah. The individual thinks it's ibadah. But when we say it's not considered ibadah, meaning it's not ibadah in the official Shar'i meaning. Ibadah, it's not called ibadah, nor is it considered ibadah when it lacks the condition of ibadah, sincerity and accordance. But when we say ibadah, when it has a deficiency in it, it means according to Him. Ya ayyuhan nas u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum. Worship the one who created you from nothing. He perfected you, He nurtured you. And that's a quality of Allah the Creator. What's the reason you should worship Him? Ya ayyuhan nas u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum. What's the reason you should worship Him? He created you, therefore He is worthy of your worship. And this is just like what we mentioned, the verse previous to this. Like we mentioned earlier, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. He is the Lord of the universe, therefore He is worthy of being worshipped alone. Here, it's He is the one who created you from nothing and created those before you, so He is worthy of being worshipped alone. You give your complete, total, full worship to Allah. الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. The one who created you and those before you. This is a description explaining the reasons for what has preceded. Meaning, worship Him because He is your Lord who created you. Worship Him because He is the Lord who created you and those before you. It's a necessary duty upon you that you should worship Him. It is binding upon anyone who affirms the Lordship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he should also worship Him alone. Otherwise, the person will be in reality contradicting himself. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. عبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Taqwa is to take protection from punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing whatever He commands and refraining or keeping away from whatever He forbids. And out of the forbidden, the number one matter forbidden is to stay away from shirk, both small and big. The number one command is Tawheed. الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ. He made, the verses go on to say, He made the earth a resting place spread out for you and me, for His creation. We use this earth without any difficulty or hardship, just as a person sleeps on his bed. We use this earth in comfort, just like one sleeps on his bed in comfort. That's why I use the word firasha. He made this earth flat for you to be, so it can be productive for us. And we use it without any hardship or difficulties. وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً, and he made the sky a canopy for the people on the earth, for us. He made it safe, and he protected. He made the sky, heaven safe, and a protected ceiling, like he said in another verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَجَعَلْنَا السَّمَاءَ سَقْفًا مَحْفُوظًا وَهُمْ عَنْ آيَاتِهَا مُعْرِضُونَ. We made the sky a safe and guarded, raised ceiling. But the believers turn away from considering the clear signs. Heavens is a place for the sun, for the moon, for the stars. And the stuff that we mentioned in depth, in sort of somewhat of depth at the end of last class last week. Back to the verse. الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء. And then he said he sent down rain from the sky for us. هو الذي أنزل, like in another verse, هو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء لكم منه شراب ومنه شجر فيه تسيمون. In Surah Al-Nahl, he sent down from above us, from the clouds, pure water for us to drink, and which causes vegetation to grow on this earth and to allow the cattle to graze. Sama in Arabic, the word sama mentioned in Arabic is everything above. كل ما علاك فهو سماء. Everything above you. لسان العرب, the dictionary says everything above you is sama. وأنزل من السماء ماء. ماء is rain. It's life. Like Allah said in another verse, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً بِقَدَرٍ فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. So back to the verse, فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. He brought down rain. With the rain, he brought out the crops from the earth, the fruits from the earth, and provision for us, the grains in the earth, the fruits in the earth. That's what happens when Allah brings down rain. فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. Thamarat is plural of thamara, and it's everything that grows on the earth. رِزْقًا لَكُمْ, meaning provision for you. It's a gift. It's a gift for you. مَتَاعًا, like another verse says, مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ, provision for you and your cattle. In Surah Abasa, مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ, it's a gift for us. So after that, what's the conclusion of that after he talks about the sky, the earth, the rain? فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. Don't set up any rivals with Allah in your worship while you know that you have no Lord besides Him. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. The conclusion of the verse is, don't set up rivals for the one who created you, the one who created those before you, the one who created you, the one who created those before you, the one who made the earth a resting place for you, the one who made the sky a canopy over you, the one who sent down the rain from the sky, from the clouds for you, the one who produced the fruits and produce with the rain he sent down for you. What's the point of all those that's mentioned in the ayah? Those, don't set up any rivals with Allah. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. When you worship Him alone. When you love Him alone. When you give your worship, it's gotta be 100% for the sake of Allah. It's not fitting according to sound intellect or even according to revelation that you agree He's the Lord who does all that, but then give your worship to other than Him. Andada is similar or like. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا إِلَّا أَنْدَادًا is similar or like. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Don't associate partners to the one who does all of that while you know it. Know what? وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Don't associate partners while you know it. When you know that He has no rival, and that creation, that provision, the control of the affairs, the nourishment of the universe, He does alone. So don't set up any partner along with Him in His worship. This verse means don't associate partners, and you know He has no rivals. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. You know He has no rivals. And that you know there's no comparable to Allah. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Like the verse in Surah Zumar, وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهِ. You know there is no rivals, because when you were asked who created the heavens, the earth, you said Allah. So give your worship to Allah. You know there is no likes, nor similar to him, nor to his creation. So how dare you give anyone your worship or give your worship to other than Allah? And in this verse over here, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا اللَّهَ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, it contains nafi and ithbat. We said we have nafi and ithbat. You have to deny and affirm. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا is the nafi. You deny any similar to Allah. In the ithbat, the affirming part of it is the beginning of the verse, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ اعْبُدُوا, that he is the one who is to be worshipped, the order to be worshipped. You affirm with a'budu, worship, and you deny that there's no similars to him at the end of the verse. This verse combined between the order to worship Allah alone and to deter from worshiping any other than him, and that there's no similar to him. This verse is intellect proof to destroy the shirk belief. If you believe he is the creator, sustainer, gives life to you, then you must worship him alone. It makes no sense to say he does all this, then go worship other than him. Makes no sense. You don't have a right mind if you're saying that. That's why Ibn Kathir said, the creator of all this is the one worthy of ibadah. These are helpless lords that you worship. Since Allah does everything and he's the one who's creator, everyone other than him is helpless. وَاتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ آلِهَةً لَا يَخْلُقُونَ شَيْئًا. They worship people who can't even create. The author then quoted Ibn Kathir. He said, قال ابن كثير رحمه الله تعالى الخالق لهذه الأشياء هو المستحق للعبادة. The creator of these things is the one who deserves to be worshipped. The creator of these things is the one who deserves to be worshipped. This statement clarifies the earlier statement by Ibn Kathir's statement, clarifies the earlier statement by the author of this book, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, the statement of Ar-Rabb huwa al-Ma'bud. He did not mean the Lord is the one worshipped, as we said. Imam Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab meant what Ibn Kathir said here. The creator of the things that we mentioned is the one who deserves to be worshipped. If you go in the book of Ibn Kathir to that quote that we just mentioned, it's worded slightly different. But we said early on in the classes, many classes ago, early on in the classes, that Imam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab many times rephrases the quotes that he mentions in his book. And we mentioned previous examples of that.